I'm sorry, there seemed to be a hiccup when I started. Welcome to today's Spiritual Events Directory Awaken Your Inner Power. I am so pleased to have you all here, and as you can see, I'm in a different location today. We've actually taken a few days off just to take a few days, get a few days away. So we've come down the coast and we're in a beautiful location which is actually really nice. You can just see around there, there's lots of little plants around, and we're just in the reception area. We have just arrived, so everything was all very quick to set up. And I just really wanted to let you all know that we are here ready to go. But also next week, before we do go any further, those of you who are on, can you please let me know whether or not you can hear me clearly? I'm just going to try and put it up on my phone just to make sure that everything is working correctly as per normal, our normal checks. And just really wanted to tap in. Let me know where you're tuning in from and what you're doing, and that would be great. I'm just going to turn the sound down on my phone to make sure that it's all coming up. So hi everyone, and I'm really happy to be here again. Hi Sarah, welcome to the show. Thanks for joining us. And maybe she's got my comments on it. My husband's just checking if I need him to hold my phone, but just being in an unusual place. Wonderful, I'm glad you can hear me. Everything's fine, nice and loud. So this is a beautiful place to come and just take a few days out and really enjoying it. Hi Bella, how are you? That's wonderful. Thank you for letting me know. And I also wanted to say that as of next week, we will actually be running on daylight saving time. So instead of 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock daylight saving time, I will be running on 12 o'clock New South Wales daylight saving time as opposed to Queensland time. So next week we will be on an hour earlier, and I did want everyone to know that, and I will put a note in the comments at the end as well. So that's fantastic. And Dee, welcome to the show. Wapori, New South Wales. Wonderful. Welcome, Dee. And Mary, thank you so much for joining us, Mary. And Gloria, hi, how are you? And thank you, Bella. Actually, I might not need that now. So here I am, and we are talking about awakening your inner power. I'm sorry if this is shaking around a little bit because I've got the laptop on my knees, so I am trying to make everything work the best way that I can. So hopefully that is working for us. And, awakening your inner power. What is it that you want to sort out and really liven up in your own life? And when I'm talking about these things, it's often and I have brought this up before. We've talked about the quality of communication, because communication is really important, and it brings to mind something that occurred recently with myself where there's nothing worse than having to make 10 phone calls about one thing, and you're getting different responses and different activity and different people on the phone every time. And then, you finally get to a point where you just really want someone to listen to what you're saying as opposed to running a script. And that happened to me, and I got so upset about the whole situation. But it just didn't matter how clear the communication was. It was really hard to get somebody to actually listen. And when you get to a point where you really are past your point of patience, and somebody will say to you, I understand how you feel, and I just said to them, well, clearly you don't understand how I feel, because here we are in this situation. and he automatically changed his language, and that was at that point was when I really did ask for a supervisor to speak to, and he changed his language around that, which made me think, well, he really does understand not the language, but oops, we have a trolley coming through. But it was really about really being able to communicate efficiently and effectively, and automatically, as soon as he started to change his communication with me, the situation started to diffuse very easily and quickly. And to me that means a lot, and it just shows the power of your communication. So is everything coming through clearly still for you? Just please let me know, just to make sure that there's no interference going on. I really would like to make sure that everything's great. Hi, Rosie. Welcome. How are you? Thank you for tuning in today. I completely love everything that I do on this show, and love communication and the ability to be able to really help people out and give them lots of information, and they can walk away and go with. I need that. That is fantastic. So, that's amazing. And it's great to have you all here. So, great, Dee. Thank you. I just wasn't sure because there's a lot of background noise going on. So I really just wanted to make sure everybody can hear me. So, when has a situation been in your circumstances where communication may not be as clear as it could be? And also, I can also relate to another situation where, it doesn't matter how clearly you put a message across and how often you might clarify that they are understanding exactly what you're saying and they do get the message, and yet when they put it down on paper, it's a completely different situation to what you actually were to understand it to be. Hi, Pat. Welcome to the show. Thanks for joining us. Hi, Amy. Welcome. So, there's a lot of different things there that when you are developing or just needing to speak to people generally to find out information, how quickly your communication can affect a conversation just through not being absolutely clear. And just make sure that you keep asking if there's one little piece of doubt in the information that you receive back. Ask the question again, clear it up, make sure it works. So I just have my little chai latte here too, because we are, Amy, you won't know that we are in down the Gold Coast, or past the Gold Coast. We're in New South Wales. And we just arrived just before the show went on, and I went, I want a chai latte. So I'm drinking my chai latte with my laptop on my lap. And I also mentioned at the beginning, and I will put comments in, Amy, that next week we're going to be running this on New South Wales time. I was talking to Sarah this morning, and she didn't realise that I was still running on Queensland time, and a lot of the people on this show, on this community, are actually on daylight saving time. So we will be running this at 11 a.m. Queensland time, which will be 12 noon in New South Wales daylight saving time. So I'm not sure how that affects you, Amy. It might make you another half an hour behind us again. So I'm not sure how that'll work. But you can always come onto the page and listen to the information anytime. And, come back and listen to it and share it. Please feel free to share this anytime. During the course of the show or even afterwards, there might just be somebody out there who needs to hear that message at that particular time. If it can save them from procrastinating further, if it can save them from making a decision that's not quite right for them, because they haven't understood the communication, or whether it's because there's some other thing going on that comes up during the course of the show, that will be a definite change for them. And, you sharing this will also give you some visibility that you're connected with an expert who, works with behavioral breakthroughs and understands that sometimes people really just need to be heard. So it's really, really important. Amy, going to Perth? Yes, you're going to Perth. So 3 hours behind. What day are you going to Perth? I want to try and work something out with you from our masterclass yesterday, which was amazing. And, if anybody's got any questions around anything that can improve their life, give them that self-empowerment to be able to step up and do what they need to do. Oh, you're going on Thursday. Okay, we'll work something out. That will be fine. And if anybody's got any questions, please feel free to ask. I would love to answer some questions around what struggles or what challenges you're coming up against at the moment, and look at some strategies that we can help you through. So no problem, Amy. I'll message you later, and I know that Graham's just gone up to our room, so we're able to get into our room. So as soon as I finish this show today, I will go up, and what I'll do is I'll look at my diary and I'll work something out with you. In the meantime, please talk to me. All of you beautiful souls on here, you give me so much joy and so much pleasure to be here today and every other day that we're on this show. Please let me know that, if there's anything that you want some insight into, whether it's mindfulness, whether it's breaking old patterns and behaviors, or whether it's about, some strategies on how to move into another area into your life. We look at all sorts of areas: wealth, joy, happiness, health and well-being, relationships, communication, mindfulness. What's holding you back? What's stopping you from being your best version? And help us move through that. So, Amy, you might put a comment up there to let everybody know how incredible our masterclass was yesterday. All about life's a choice, and we talked about a lot of different things in that masterclass. It actually went over time. It was about 2.5 hours worth of content, and we had such a wonderful time. So that was incredible. And even with relationships, like the biggest part of a relationship is communication, whether it's through business or whether it's through personal relationships, or whether it's through more intimate relationships. It doesn't matter. It's how communication is the probably biggest part of relationships, because when everything else is gone, the communication is far greater and worth so much more than any other part of the relationship. Growing old together, when you're sitting there, you can talk, you can laugh, you can really have fun together regardless of how old you are, and that's such a really big part of it. Amy, yes, it was amazing. Really glad to have been part of it. Yes, you were incredible too. Lots of feedback coming from you, and again, we show so much gratitude to you because you keep turning up, you keep participating, and a big part of I think I've mentioned it in the masterclass yesterday. It's one of the biggest parts of failure comes from failing to participate in your life. And when you're taking information down and getting information, new information, and building on the knowledge and the terms of what you already know, um, writing the information, physically writing it with a pen and a paper rather than typing it up on a computer or a keyboard, because the mind actually understands that when it's physically written in a form with your hand to paper, that it absorbs the information, more information more quickly. And so that's really, really important to understand that that happens, and it's amazing. So, you're absorbing that information more and more. And I know sometimes we don't always understand what we've written. I know I'm in that situation often. And, it does become an issue, but I really have to learn to write things down in a manner where I am going to be able to read it back, because I got so tired of not being able to understand what I was writing. And really does have an amazing impact when you physically write things down. So another big part of communication and participation to succeed in life. So yesterday's process has brought up that's a great point, and we definitely will talk about that, Amy, when we chat. So this is what it was supposed to do. It was supposed to bring these things up so you can unravel that layer and really start to move forward. So it's really, really important that that's come up, and it's so good that it's come up so easily, really, with that one process, because there's so much more that can be unpacked when things have been so deeply suppressed. Because of your conditioning years, when you're 0 to 7, then it's super important to know that as it unpacks, you're going to really tap into another level, another level, another level. And, this is definitely part of the conversation that we'll have. So I'm really pleased to be able to help you out with that. Vanessa, hi Vanessa, how are you? Thank you for joining us today. And also Karen, that is fantastic to see you on the show today. Karen says, I need help with what is best to do. Karen, what are you looking at? What is the decision that you're trying to make? What is the area of your life that you're looking at? What is it that, we just want to know more so that we can really get to the real strategy that's going to help you through this. So if you could just give me a little bit more information, that would be fantastic. So great. And yes, Amy, definitely. Sorry, I just so needed my chai latte. Karen, no, hang on a second. Amy says, I thought so. There's a really huge delay between Facebook and what's going on here. I'm wondering if you see me going to the world titles for dragon boating next year. I so want to be. Let me see some more stuff come through. Thanks for the heart, Amy. You beautiful girl. Let's have a look. Dragon next year. So I so want to. I'm having trouble raising funds to get there. All right. So there's a block there about you going to these titles, or there's a block there about your financial ability to raise. Let's going up, coming up, but all right. So Vanessa, let's have a look at this and just really have a look and see. So tell me what it is that you think is causing the problem with raising the funds. Let's just have a look at that and see what that is. And well, congratulations on getting to the world titles. That's amazing. So well done. Let's have a look at really a little bit deeper there. Karen, getting my mum well. So what's the issue with your mum, and what's going on with her at the moment? Because often when people are unwell, we all know, or it's a well-known fact that a lot of ill health comes from emotional blockages, emotional experiences that we've had as younger children or as a younger self. What I would highly recommend, I can't even recommend it, because the problem is if you're trying to get somebody well, they have to want to be well themselves. And sometimes we take on other people's responsibilities because we want what's best for them, even if they don't, which unfortunately does create a bit of an issue because there's a resistance there. And it really does play badly into the hands of the person that's trying to help and the person who is in that situation. And so what I would ask you is, if there's anything further that you can elaborate on that would be great. Vanessa, please come back to me with, what you think might be the problem with the fundraising, where it's not working for you, because I can definitely offer you some strategies to work with there, and maybe look at what's holding that back. So we can, hey, Karen, which path should take? Am I getting on the right road? Malnutrition, can't eat or drink, feels like a lump in throat, doctors can't give diagnosis. That's a really hard one, Karen. Sorry. I'm just, what I'm thinking is, if she's got a block in her throat, it could easily be something to do with not being able to voice her opinion at some stage in her life. And this probably won't help her because, if she's at this point already, then, she may not be open to that. You would know your mum better, so you'll know whether she's open to looking at what might have caused her not to speak out as a younger person, if there's a lump in her throat. But medical conditions are so much harder to work with because I'm not a medical practitioner, and so I'm not qualified in that sense to do this. I can offer so many different things, but if the person doesn't want to get past it, doesn't want to acknowledge what's going on, or is not able to for whatever reason, and the doctors aren't able to give her a diagnosis, and personally for me, a diagnosis means we can attach ourselves to that diagnosis and carry that with us through the rest of our life. Personally, I don't like diagnosis because it just allows you to be in that space continually. And, I know it's really hard in some circumstances when you do need to seek medical advice in situations like this. And I do apologise if there's anything here that doesn't resonate with you. But like I said, I'm not a medical practitioner, so it's really difficult for me to be able to confirm with you the best path to take along there. But what I would say is there are situations where a more natural option can can work better. I know kinesiology works really well in a lot of areas of the mechanics of your body. Vanessa, sorry, Karen, if you can let me know where you're based, did you tell me that to start with? Mm, don't know if you mentioned that, but if you could let me know where you are based, I may be able to message you later on with a contact that something's tickling my nose. That might be able to be a better option to contact them. And I'll work on that really quickly for you because I know this is really important. But if your mum is open to natural therapies, kinesiology, but there's all different forms of kinesiology. And I know that this particular form of kinesiology works with the mechanics of your body and how your body operates on a daily basis. And I do know personally for me, it was, I had some issues about 30 years ago and I came across a kinesiologist that helped me to move past what would have been horrific surgery, life-threatening surgery, and challenges for the rest of my life if I did come through that the other end. And I've not had that problem before because the cause of the matter has been resolved as opposed to putting a band-aid on. So, there's a lot of different situations. And I know it doesn't work for everyone, but I do know that this method of treatment works extremely well. She had a sudden onset of illness. She wants to get better. Okay, maybe because she's afraid to speak up. Yes, that could be part of it, Karen. She's in South Australia. Okay. Oh gosh,